So, welcome to the next lecture of transmission line, and the chapter name is transmission line and waveguides. There is introduction to waveguides at the end of this chapter. So today we are going to find out the equation of the transmission line. So in the last lecture we have seen this model of transmission line, how a particular transmission line can be represented. So any transmission line, we can represent it in terms of its lumped parameters, or the parameters like resistance, inductance, capacitance and conductance, because these parameters are present for every kilometer, and hence using ohms per meter or henries per meter or farad per meter and Siemens per meter. So assume that a transmission line is uniform and the length L, length means length of the transmission line, L is divided into identical sections of delta x, smaller parts. So each transmission line, if I divide it into different smaller parts, equal smaller part throughout its length, then each smaller part I can call it as delta x. It is a part of the length, so it is distance, and L is the total length of the transmission line. Now this transmission line here, see in the figure, Vs is a source voltage that is applied at source end, Zs is source impedance, and the other end, that is receiving end, is terminated in load impedance, that is ZL, right? So, but there are other parameters like R, L, G, C, they are present inside the line, and because of these parameters, there is an overall impedance given by the transmission line. If I see from the sending end, then I can get some kind of impedance because these parameters are present, and that impedance is known as characteristic impedance of the transmission line. Okay, so every transmission line, whenever it is designed or whenever it is created, then it has its own characteristic impedance. That characteristic impedance is because of the material used to construct that transmission line. Okay, जर प्युअर कंडक्टर असेल तर रेजिस्टन्स कमी असतो, इंडक्टन्स जास्त असेल, कॅपॅसिटन्स depends upon the how much distance is between there for this upper line and lower line. Conductance is there because if the transmission line, if the material is not has some conducting values or conducting ions like that. So because of that, its manufacturing material used, each transmission line has its own characteristic impedance, or we can say each transmission line has its own R, L, G, C values, and those values are repeated for every unit length, delta x length. So this is the distributed circuit model of a transmission line, and we are going to find out what is characteristic impedance, what is its equation, what is propagation constant, and so on. Because what we are going to do, we are going to transmit a wave. This voltage source is a DC source, or it may be another AC source, where a wave can be transmitted from this point and it should reach to the other point, up to the ZL, up to the load, right? And when that wave is transmitted, whether it is reaching at as it is, or whether it is attenuated, or whether it is reflected, that we are going to see. So all these terms we are going to analyze one by one. Okay, so let us concentrate on this model. So R into delta x, here it is written R into delta x means it is resistance. Already R is in terms of ohms per meter. Okay, मग जर मला R into delta x असं जर घेतलं तर काय मिळणार आहे, फक्त रेजिस्टन्स मिळणार आहे, because R is given in terms of ohms per meter. If I multiply it by length, unit length delta x, then I will get R in terms of ohms. So here each parameter is multiplied by length delta x. So R delta x is the resistance in series branch, L delta x is inductance in series branch for a length of delta x, and it is measured in henries. Then G into delta x means conductance for delta x length, for that particular delta x length in Siemens, and C into delta x means capacitance into length, that is it is in farad. So these are per length parameters. Okay, now on how we can derive these equations. So let us convert this voltage, whatever voltage we have supplied here, in terms of time variations. Okay, the voltages and currents along the transmission line are functions of position and time, because it is traveling from this sending end and they are reaching at the receiving end. So they are functions of position, means distance, and they are also functions of time. Okay, so let us represent this voltage and current in terms of position and time variables, right? So I have represented V, that is voltage at the sending side, in terms of x comma t. So it is a function of distance x as well as it is a function of time t. So V is represented by V into in bracket x comma t. Also I is represented by I in bracket x comma t, where I is the current that is given by the source V. Okay, but at the output side we have just considered only delta x length. Okay, we have considered part of the total transmission line, only a single part of the total transmission line, and that is of length delta x. Right, so this transmission line that you are watching now is of length delta x. At sending end, the distance is started at x equal to 0. Let us consider that the distance is at x equal to 0. And then at the receiving end, as the length of the transmission line is delta x, the receiving end will be at x plus delta x. Right. So if I call V at sending end, which is equal to V in bracket x comma t, then at receiving end I will call that V as V in bracket x plus delta x comma t, because x has been changed by delta x. Right. So at the receiving end, the I is represented by, current is represented by I in bracket x plus delta x comma t, and voltage V is represented as x plus delta x comma t. Right. And again these general parameter, that is R, L, G, C are present. Okay, where what is R? R is resistance, G is conductance, L is inductance, and C is capacitance. We are going to apply this KCL and KVL, and we are going to find out what are the equations for voltage and what are the equations for current in terms of the parameters R, L, G, and C. So again come to this slide. So if I apply Kirchhoff's voltage law KVL to the first loop, this, okay, then what is the equation that I get? First I have applied V at the right side, so V xt minus, because this voltage is at that side, so I have to see this voltage at the other side. If I close this circuit, then Vxt is applied voltage and this is available voltage at receiving end. So Vx comma t minus, because from we are going towards negative sign here, so we have to take minus sign, minus V in bracket x comma delta x plus delta x comma t is equal to, now what is voltage drop across this? R delta x. R delta x multiplied by I, that is voltage dropped across resistance, right? And what is voltage dropped across inductance? That is L di by dt, right? So voltage drop across resistance is equal to R into delta x into Ixt plus L delta x into R dou Ixt by dou t, because voltage across inductance is given by L di by dt, that we know. So according to voltage law, according to Kirchhoff's voltage law KVL, we have written this equation. So if you can write these equations with me. So V x comma t minus vx plus delta x comma t is equal to r delta x into xt plus l delta x into dou I xt by dou t. Equation number 1 by KVL. Again, now we have to consider these parameters also, C and G. So I can apply a Kirchhoff's current law at this node 1. Let us consider that this is node 1, right? So what are the current entering into the node? I xt is entering into the node, and I x plus delta x comma t is leaving current, right? And also whatever current flowing through this conductance is also leaving. C, whatever the current available across this passing through this capacitor is also a current leaving. So overall, how I can write this? Ixt minus Ix plus delta x comma t, that is the right hand side. So Ix comma t minus Ix plus delta x comma t is equal to. So these currents are negative if I take it to the left hand side, but I have taken it to the right hand side, so they become positive. So what is the current flowing through the conductance? It is voltage multiplied by conductance, because current is nothing but what? Current is what? Voltage divided by resistance, and resistance is reciprocal of conductance. So what in terms of conductance, what is current? Voltage multiplied by conductance is nothing but the current. So at this side, what is the voltage available? V plus delta x comma t, that is voltage available for G delta x. Okay, so that become the current through this branch is nothing but G into delta x in bracket V in bracket x plus delta x comma t, plus what is the current through the capacitor? C dou V by dou t. Current through a capacitance is given by C into dou V by dou t. So C into delta x is a capacitance, right? And dou V by dou t, but voltage is this side voltage, so it is dou V x plus delta x comma t divided by dou t, right? So we'll call this as equation number 2. So first equation we have written according to KVL, and the second equation we have written according to KCL, and we have collected all the RLGC parameter. Related this RLGC parameter to the voltages and currents, right? Then next, now from equation 1 we can collect these parts together. So what we can write? V in bracket x comma t minus V in bracket x plus delta x comma t whole divided by delta x, because delta x is common there, and then the right hand side is equal to R into capital small I xt plus L dou I by dou xt dou t, because it is available in equation number 1. And then here from this equation, from equation number 1, we have taken delta x common from the right hand side, and that delta x is divided to the left hand side. Okay, so we got equation number 3 as Vxt minus Vx plus delta x comma t whole divided by delta x is equal to R Ixt plus L Dixt by dt. Rearrange it for delta x. Similarly, we can add equation number 2 as Ixt minus Ix plus delta x comma t whole divided by delta x is equal to, what is the right hand side? G delta x is gone to the left hand side. So G into V plus delta x plus delta x comma t plus C into dou V x plus delta x comma t divided by dou t. So these are equation number 3 and equation number 4. If you assume that delta x is very small, then I can take, instead of delta x, I can take dou x or dou t, like that. So for delta x, we'll take dou x. So we'll change this. Now this x t and x plus delta x, this is the variation between in voltage V. Okay, there is a change in voltage from sending end up to the receiving end, and that change we can represent it in terms of dou. Okay, so we can write, instead of this whole equation, we can write dou V xt by dou x. Dou represent variation in that particular parameter, and dou x represents that variation is according to the small change in length x. Right, so we can write dou V x comma t divided by dou x is equal to r I x comma t minus L dou I x comma t by dou t. And dou I xt by dou x is equal to minus G V xt minus C dou V xt by dou t. Okay, so these are the partial differential equations in terms of voltage and currents along the transmission line. And these equations are called as telegrapher equations. Now, instead of writing in terms of this r x comma t, I x comma t, we have written this equation as dou V by dou x directly. So equation number 5 is converted into dou V by dou x terms. Right, so dou V by dou x from equation number 5, dou V by dou x is equal to r minus r I x minus L dou I by dou t. So that is equation number 7 here. So that I is converted into capital I. So dou V by dou x is equal to minus Ri minus L dou I by dou t, equation number 7. Also for current, we can write from equation number 6, I can write dou I by dou x is equal to minus G V minus C into dou V by dou t. I have just neglected this x comma t bracket everywhere, and I have written it into direct partial derivation format. So these are simple equations in terms of partial derivatives. Dou V by dou x is equal to minus Ri L di by minus L dou I by dou t, and dou I by dou x is equal to minus G V minus C dou V by dou t. The sign is because of this negative sign is there for V x plus delta x. See, now Vx comma t minus V of x, that will Vx will cancel, and only minus of V of delta x will remain. Hence there is this negative sign is they are given to the left hand side. That is why we got minus Ri and minus Gv for equation number 5 and 6. Right, and therefore we got the minus sign, and that is reflected in equation number 7 and 8 also. Right, now these are the first order equations. If I again take the partial derivative of both the equations with respect to x, then what I will get? Dou 2v by dou x square is equal to, I have taken derivative of equation number 7 with respect to dou x. Dou 2v by dou x square is equal to minus r dou I by dou x. I have to take the derivative of I here, minus L, already there is a derivative with respect to time t, again I have added derivative with respect to time x, so it will become dou 2 divided by dou x dou t, equation number 9. And similarly here dou 2i by dou x into dou t for this equation. Right, so here I think derivative with respect to t for equation number 8. Okay, so we'll write here taking dou by dou t on both sides of equation number 8. Then what I will get? Equation number 10 I will get. And that is equal to dou 2i by dou x dou t is equal to minus g dou v by dou t minus c dou 2v by dou t square. How equation number 10 has derived? Taking the partial derivative with respect to time t of equation number 8. Right, so from equation number 8 I got equation number 10, and from equation number 7 I got equation number 9. Here we have taken derivative with respect to x, but for equation number 8 we have taken derivative with respect to time t. Right, then what adjustment should I make? Putting the value of dou I by dou x. Now what I got for dou I by dou x? This is dou I by dou x. And dou 2i by dou x dou t. Dou 2i by dou x dou t. From equation 8 and 10, and they both are kept in equation number 9. Right. आता इक्वेशन नंबर 9 मध्ये dou I by dou x ची व्हॅल्यू घालायची आहे आणि dou 2i divided by dou x dou t ची व्हॅल्यू घालायची आहे. Right. So put equation number 8 and equation number 10 into equation number 9. Then what I will get? Dou 2v by dou x square, that is the left hand side, see here, dou 2v by dou x square, that is as it is equal to minus r. Now dou I by dou x is nothing but minus gv minus c dou v by dou t, so I have kept that into the bracket here. Minus L is there in bracket. dou 2i by dou x dou t ची व्हॅल्यू काय आहे? मायनस g dou v by dou t minus c dou 2v by dou t square. Correct? So I have put equation number 8 and 10 into equation number 9, and I got this new equation for v. Right? Again, let us modify somewhat. So let us collect all the parameters together. So what I will get? Dou 2v by dou x square is equal to r in bracket g I plus c dou v by dou t plus L in bracket g into dou v by dou t plus c dou 2v by dou t square. After multiplying by outer parameter to the inner parameters, we got this full equation. Then again, if we solve the further it, then I will get dou 2v by dou x square is equal to L into c into dou 2v by dou t square. Where is L and where is c? This is the term. See here. L into c dou 2v by dou t square plus, now they have collected Lg and Rc. Lg and Rc, because dou v by dou t is common, right? So Lg plus Rc into dou v by dou t plus R into G into V. Into G into V. Okay, it should be V here, I think. Yes, it should be V in this equation. So here it should be V. And then you will get RGV. Right, so this we'll call this equation number as equation number 11. Okay, so let us call this as equation number 11. Now this is equation in terms of voltage. The second order equation, what this equation represent? Derivative of voltage with respect to distance, double derivative of voltage with respect to distance is equal to LC derivative of voltage with respect to time t. So it is second order equation again to the right hand side also, plus Lg plus Rc dou v by dou t plus Rgv. So v, and in terms of x we got all other parameters. Then if I want the similar kind of equation in terms of I, current, then what we have to do? We have to differentiate equation number 5 and equation number 8 with respect to x and t, right? or we have to differentiate equation number 7 with respect to t, and we have to differentiate equation number 8 with respect to x. आता उलट करायचंय, आधी जे आपण केलं होतं त्याच्या उलट डिफरन्शिएशन करायचंय, and then we can get we can put the value in dou 2i by dou x square in equation number 8. So differentiating equation number 7 with respect to t and differentiating equation number 9, sorry, equation number 8 with respect to x, and putting those values in equation number 9, we get dou 2i by dou x square is equal to LC dou 2i by dou t square plus LG plus RC, all are same, dou I by dou t. Only change V instead of I, and other parameters are same. So we got this equation, and we'll call this equation as equation number 12 in terms of current. So this equation number 11 and equation number 12 are called as general wave equations for transmission line. How this voltage and current at the sending end are represented, or at voltage at any distance can be represented in terms of L, G, C and R parameters. Okay, so this equation gives voltage at any distance x along the transmission line, and it is represented in terms of R, L, G, C parameters and voltage time derivative of voltage parameters also. So these are known as general equation of transmission line. Now we are going to find out the solution of these equations. Because it is a second order equation, we have to assume some solution for it. So let us find out what are the things that are present here. We know here that derivative with respect to time t means j omega. So I can replace this dou by dou t wherever it is present by j omega. Okay. So if I replace it in equation number 11, then what I will get, dou 2v by dou x square is equal to LC. Now it is double derivative of voltage with respect to time t. So I can write it as j omega into v. Right. Here I can write dou v by dou t as j omega into v. And after writing all these things, what I will get, after replacing dou by dou t by j omega, we get dou 2v by dou x is equal to r plus j omega L, and in other bracket we will get g plus j omega c into capital V. बरोबर आहे? इथं j ओमेगा येणार, त्यामुळे ते -1 होणार. Or we can take j omega common here. इथं एकच j omega येणार आहे आणि इथं फक्त v आहे, त्यामुळे j omega चा प्रश्नच नाहीये. So or we can solve this bracket, and then we got the equation solving dou 2v by dou x square here 11. Okay, so from equation number 11, if we replace dou by dou t by j omega, then and after some adjustment we will get dou 2v by dou x square is equal to r plus j omega L plus g plus j omega c into v. Purposely these parameters are collected together. R plus j omega L represent impedance because these terms are present in series branch. Right? R plus j omega L inductance आणि resistance series branch मध्ये आहे, आणि G आणि C हे parallel branch मध्ये आहे, म्हणजे parallel connected आहे. Right? So we call this R plus j omega L as total impedance of series branch of a transmission line, and G plus j omega L C as admittance of the parallel branch. कारण parallel मध्ये जर parameters असतील तर आपण त्याचा admittance easily घेऊ शकतो. And what is admittance? Y here? Y is equal to G plus j omega C. We can directly add G plus j omega c. बट आपल्याला जर इम्पेडन्स काढायचा असता तर आपल्याला 1/g करावं लागलं असेल किंवा 1/c करावं लागलं असतं. बट जर आपण ऍडमिटन्स घेतला तर आपल्याला डायरेक्टली g plus j omega c लिहिता येतं. Right, so this means r plus j omega l is equal to the impedance of series branch. G plus j omega l c is nothing but admittance of the parallel branch multiplied by v is there. Again, if I replace this by z and y, then I can write this equation as dou 2v by dou x square is equal to z into y into v. So voltage at any distance is represented in terms of impedance and in terms of admittance parameters. And together this zy we have represented it by a letter gamma. And gamma is known as propagation constant. Right, so gamma is equal to under square root z into y. Because these parameters will affect that admittance and impedance will affect the value of the voltage which is receiving at the receiver side. So because the wave or because your voltage has been propagated from sending end up to the receiving end, its value has been changed, or it may change at particular distance. At any particular distance you will get different values other than sending end, other than its original value. The value will change, and that value will depend upon the distance x. Okay, so this under square root z y is nothing but gamma, and gamma is called as propagation constant, where z is called as total series impedance. It should be admittance nahi, impedance paije. So impedance, total series impedance, and y is called as total shunt admittance. So similar to the voltage, we can write equation for current as dou 2I by dou x square is equal to z y into I should be there. Here it should be I. Right, and it is equal to gamma square into I. Okay, so these equation in terms of z and y parameter for transmission line. What is the first equation? Dou 2v by dou x square is equal to gamma square v, and the second equation is dou 2I by dou x square is equal to gamma square I. Okay, so we have reduced equation to this smaller equation in terms of gamma, and gamma is propagation constant. The unit of gamma is, we know already, it is per kilometer or per meter. And we have seen this parameter in electromagnetic waves also, because there also gamma is coming into the picture for that particular wave, that is propagation constant of that wave. Here it is propagation constant for a voltage along the transmission line. That is the difference, right? So again, these two equations are also called as characteristic equations of transmission line. These two equations are called as characteristic equations of transmission line, and we have derived this equation starting with the lumped model of the transmission line for unit length delta x. Right, now what is gamma? Gamma is propagation constant, and it is a secondary constant of the transmission line. So R, L, G, C are called as primary constant, and these gamma and alpha, beta are called as secondary constant of the transmission line. Okay, R, L, G, C are called as primary constant, and gamma and Z, that is characteristic impedance, that is the next term, is called as secondary constant. So here first I have represented gamma. Gamma is given by under square root z upon y, z into y, which is equal to, what is Z? Z is R plus j omega L. And what is Y? Y is G plus j omega C. We already know that gamma is equal to alpha plus j beta, where alpha is what? Attenuation constant measured in Nepper per kilometer, and beta is called as phase constant measured in radians per kilometer, and gamma is measured in per kilometer. So these three equations we got. We have to solve some example based on these equations also. So please note down these equations. Gamma is equal to under square root Z upon into Y. Z is R plus j omega L and Y is G plus j omega C. And then one more secondary constant is characteristic impedance Z naught. So what is that characteristic impedance? Because of all those lumped, I have told earlier, because of all those lumped parameters, we got some impedance for each and every transmission line, and that looking into the sending end, if I measure the impedance, then that impedance is equal to Z naught. So that impedance is called as characteristic impedance of the transmission line. So let us define it. Characteristic impedance of a transmission line is defined as the square root of ratio of series impedance per unit length per phase and shunt admittance per unit length per phase. So Z, or characteristic impedance Z naught, it is indicated by Z naught. Z naught is given by Z divided by Y under square root. Okay, so in smaller terms I can write this as Z naught is also equal to under square root Z upon Y. And that is given by Z, we already know, R plus j omega L, and Y is nothing but G plus j omega C. And impedance is always measured in ohms, so it is having unit ohm. Right, again, because of all these things, whatever the phase velocity of the waves which are propagating through this transmission line is given by small Vp. Let us consider this letter as Vp. So Vp is equal to F lambda. We already know for electromagnetic wave, again we have seen this equation. Okay, phase velocity Vp, or the velocity with which the wave is traveling, is called as phase velocity, and that depends upon the phase at every instant of time. And it is related to the frequency as F into lambda, where lambda is wavelength and F is frequency. But it is also given in terms of omega divided by beta, where beta is called as phase constant. Right, so Vp, that is phase velocity, is equal to F lambda, which is equal to omega divided by beta. So phase velocity equations remains for same for transmission line also, for and for electromagnetic wave also. Where omega is 2 pi f and beta is called as phase constant in radians per kilometer or per meter. Right. So we have seen these general equations of transmission line, but it is not for any lossless line or lossy line. For lossless line, the equation may change. For lossy line, it will be used as it is. So let us derive what is the equation for lossless line. Okay, so today we have first we have derived the equation of transmission line by considering lumped parameters, and then we have reduced that equation in terms of Z and Y, and we call that equation as characteristic equation of transmission line. Then from that equation we can write two secondary parameters, that those are called as characteristic impedance Z naught and propagation constant gamma. Right, and characteristic impedance is a ratio of series impedance per unit length divided by shunt admittance per unit length per phase. And hence we got velocity Vp is equal to F lambda, and that is also equal to omega by beta. Okay, so these are the basic equations, starting equations to solve some examples for transmission line. This Z0 is very important. Impedance depending upon the value of Z0. We can find whether the line is infinite, and we can represent infinite line in terms of finite length line. Okay, so every transmission line has its own characteristic impedance. For coaxial cable, impedance is fixed. For other cables, the impedance is fixed like that. Now let us consider the lossless transmission line. So for lossless transmission line, lossless means what? There is no dropping off of voltage or current when the because of resistance. Whenever a resistance is present inside in a path of current, then some voltage will be dropped, right? And that resistance is because of the resistance of that particular wire used for transmission of the signal. So if that wire has very pure wire, or if the medium is also pure, then the value of conductance is 0. If the wire is pure, the value of resistance is 0. Ideal cases. So these R plus G, when these two things are 0, then we call that line as lossless transmission line. When resistance is 0, no voltage drop. Conductance is 0, means no current drop or no current consumption is there. Again, no voltage drop. So that particular line is called as lossless transmission line. And these are important when we transmit very acute signals in case of microwave electronics. So we have to consider what are their effects. If R and G and are 0, then what are the equations? So again, we have seen these equations, these two equations for voltage and current. Already we have seen this equation. So we can represent this equation dou V by dou X and dou Y by dou X in terms of by considering R and G equal to 0. So R is 0, this equation changes to dou V xt by dou X is equal to minus L dou I xt by dou T, and dou I xt by dou X is equal to minus C dou V xt by dou T. R and G we have kept 0. Right. So we can represent this equation in different domains like time domain or phasor domain. If I consider Vxt as a function of some constant like phase phi or eta, then I can represent in terms of time domain. Vxt is equal to some function f of x cos of omega t plus phi x, then which is equal to f of x real part, or we can represent this cos of omega t plus phi x म्हणजे काय in terms of E. In terms of E, it is represented like this because E raised to plus minus jx is equal to cos x plus minus j sin x according to Euler's theorem, Euler's identity. We can represent E raised to plus minus jx is equal to, see this bottom line, is equal to cos of x plus minus j sin of x, right? Where cos x is a real part and sin x is imaginary part. So I have taken reverse of this here. What I have written? F of x is equal to real part of e raised to j omega t plus phi x. And real part of e raised to j omega t plus phi x is nothing but cos of omega t plus phi x. Right? And again it is same thing is adjusted somewhat as real part of f of x e raised to j phi x plus e raised to j omega t, where phi is phase constant, phase shift, omega t is displacement, angular displacement, omega into time t. Right? So this x t, similar to that, Ix comma t is given as gx cos of omega t plus eta x. So eta is a new letter used to represent phase shift for this second equation, and that is also equal to gx real part of e raised to j omega t plus eta x, and so on. Where what is fx and gx are, these are the real functions of position, and phi x and nx, eta x are describe the positional dependence of the phase. For that particular position, the phase is changing. For that particular position, the phase is changing because the wave is traveling along the transmission line. At every particular distance, there may be some phase shift with respect to the initial point. With respect to previous point, there may be some phase shift, and that phase shift is indicated by phi of x and eta of x. Right. So if I want to represent it in terms of simple phasor domain, then I can just write v of x is equal to f of x e raised to j phi x. Okay, so same these equations, above equations are represented in phasor domain and time domain. If I want to just represent it into phasor domain, then I will attach just e raised to j phi x. If I want to represent it in time domain also, then if it is given by Vx comma t is equal to real part of Vx e raised to j omega t and real part of Ix e raised to j omega t. So this is nothing but phasor and time domain representation. Now come back to the lossless line. What we have written? Dou Vx by dou x is equal to minus Lix by dou t. That is the equation for lossless line. Is it? Yes. From this equation, let us call this equation as, equation number 1 and equation number 2. So from equation number 1 and 2, we have written here dou Vx by dou x is equal to minus Lix by dou t. Again, dou by dou t is replaced by j omega, so it will become minus j omega Lix. Right. And for current I, from the second equation, that is from equation number 2, I can write dou Ix by dou x is equal to minus c dou Vx by dou t, that is equal to minus j omega c into Vx. Again, I have converted this partial derivative into complete derivative, full derivative. So I have written this as equation number, let us call this as equation number next, that is 3 and 4. So my 3 and 4 is as like this. Dou Vx by dou x is equal to minus j omega Lix and dou Ix by dou x is equal to minus j omega c into Vx. Right. Then again I will take the derivative of equation number 3 with respect to x and derivative of equation number 4 with respect to x. Then I will get dou 2 Vx by dou x square is equal to minus j omega dou Ix by dou x. That is equal to, now dou I by dou x is what? Dou I by dou x is given by this equation. Okay, so dou I by dou x is given by this equation, and that is nothing but dou I by dou x is equal to j minus j omega c Vx. So here I will replace this dou I by dou x by this equation, and I can write as minus omega square L c Vx. Right. So my complete equation has changed to dou 2v by dou x square plus omega square LCVx is equal to what? Dou 2Vx by dou x square plus beta square Vx. I call this term omega square LC as beta. Okay, so omega square into L into C is equal to beta. Therefore, beta square. Therefore, what is beta? Beta is equal to omega under square root L into C. Okay, and this is called as phase constant. Because for lossless line alpha is 0. no attenuation is there. So this beta we can call it as propagation constant directly. इथे ऍक्च्युली जर लॉसी लाईन असतं तरी बीटा स्क्वेअरच्या ऐवजी गॅमा स्क्वेअर आला असता. Because for lossy line alpha is present. For lossless line alpha is 0. Only phase constant is present. Beta is present. So this beta square or beta we can call it as a propagation constant, and it is given by omega under square root LC. And that is nothing but phase constant that represents phase change per meter for the wave traveling along the path of the transmission line. Right. So for lossless transmission line, the characteristic equation is equal to dou 2v by dou x square is plus omega square LC Vx is equal to 0, or dou 2v by dou x square plus beta square Vx is equal to 0. And from this we got beta square is equal to omega square LC, and therefore beta is equal to omega under square root LC. Beta is either called as propagation constant because it is related to V. Now if I compare this equation, say I will call this equation as equation number 5 with previous characteristic equation that we have generally obtained for transmission line. What was that equation? Here, V by dou x square is equal to gamma square V. But here we got beta square V, right? So beta here we call as propagation constant. Alpha is 0 for transmission for lossless transmission line. And again we know that beta is phase constant, so measured in radians per kilometer. Right, so this is the general equation for transmission line.